certainly seem to be going well together. A.J. Allmendinger must have decided, hey, if I'm going to come down here and test, I'm going to get my money's worth out of this thing, because he's been out there really in any test session. He's been one of the cars that's done the most laps.
That's exactly right. Right now he's run 37 laps in this afternoon session. Kurt Busch and Brad Keselowski look like they're leaders in the most laps run so far at 45.
And as we look on down the list, of course, you have the Joe Gibbs racing cars that were out there for quite a bit of time. They were on top of the speed chart for a while, almost identical speeds. And then Casey Kane spent a little bit of time out there. And we still haven't seen that much out of the other Fords. Greg Biffle out for 8 and Trevor Bayne out for 14 laps.
Right quick, JR, during the course of a year, a lot of times we'll reference back to a 5 or 10 lap average or 15 lap average. And currently, we've got a 15-lap average here where the 22 and 2 have been out there doing their drafting practices. And their average lap in a 15-lap run has been 194 mile an hour. And, prior to that, the 10 lap was 195. So there is a little bit of slowdown. It looks like the longer they run, the slower that they're getting. So that the attitude of the car and everything else that goes into it, it looks like, they're not going to run this 198 speed every time.
So this is going to be something that's going to be a little hard at first to get used to, is seeing Kurt Busch in a number 22 Pennzoil car and see that blue deuce, the number 2 of Roger Penske, driven by Brad Keselowski. But, we'll get used to it.
Oh, yeah, we'll get used to it. I mean, that's what, is going to make, I think, this year exciting again, is, we're going to see a lot of different paint schemes with different drivers, some new looks. We got a lot of, changes within a lot of the organizations. I mean, these teams just did not stay exactly the same after 2010, because let's face it, if you want to beat Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus, you better change a few things up, because what you did or what you had wasn't getting the job done.
And to put Brad Keselowski together with the crew chief that won him the Nationwide Series championship is most likely going to turn out to be a very good thing, because of what happened years ago. Remember, they put Kevin Harvick back together with Todd Berrier. They had won the Nationwide Championship together. They had good results when they were together, but then after a while, they mixed that thing up at Richard Childress as well. Yeah,
they did. They put Gil Martin back over there with Kevin, and that turned out really well in 2010.
Great results.
And that's the thing here with Paul Wolfe. I mean, Brad came in and he drove for Penske last year, and Jay Guy, he did a good job, but they never really got it going until right there at the end of the season. And he had a really strong finish as far as the Dodge is concerned, and Penske right there at the end. I think he scored more points than any other Dodge over the 4 of the last 5 races. So he's starting to figure it out. I really think Brad is coming to his own. We keep talking about drivers that are ready to break out. I think this young man, he's already got 1 Cup win under his belt, but he hasn't won for Roger Penske in the Cup Series yet. So you got to believe he's going to have a great chance working with his teammate here, Kurt Busch. I mean, Kurt knows how to get to victory lane. He knows how to win a championship. So I think these two here will make good teammates as we go into 2011, and will give Roger Penske a really good opportunity to get both cars in the chase.
For more on the number 22 car of Kurt Busch, let's go to Chris Devoda.
Well, Jeff and Johnny, it's funny because I've been scanning Kurt Busch and Brad Keselowski, and you're mentioning the new colors and numbers. Kurt came on the radio and talked about his temperature getting too hot, up to 240. So he said, hey, if we're going to swap, meaning switch positions in this 2-car draft, we need to do it now. So I look out on the track, and I still see the 2 behind him pushing, and I said, he's going to blow up. Well, I forgot. He's now the 22, so they had switched positions. So
that costs you a buck if you admit that, Krista.
All is right in the world. So it was Kurt Busch in the 22, but they were having a lot of fun. They actually came on the radio and said, this is awesome. So they're really enjoying working together and pushing each other and then flip-flopping around in that 2-car draft.
It's always fun until somebody messes up a race car.
Exactly right. But so far, these guys have done a really good job, and we've seen the cars wiggle down in the corner and look like they're possibly going to get out from under them, but they haven't so far with these 3 days of testing. So, it makes you a little bit wondering about, what to expect when we come back here in February. But I did talk to a driver and take a look here at Brad Keselowski's performance so far. In the first 4 of the test sessions, he was 6th, 16th, 4th, and then 13th. And now, as he comes back down pit road, he has brought this number 2 all the way to the top of the leaderboard, as far as he's the fastest out there at 198.60 miles per hour.
It was kind of interesting to hear him. Brad's kind of scratching his head a little bit, and so is the